Hi, my name is Jeff. We're going to talk today about an application that does a few complex lookups when it comes to storing information and gathering information. And we're going to do this through, we're going to walk through these screenshots, so stay tuned. Let me just show you, so we're going to go over all of that, all of these screenshots and what they're doing so that you can do it. But it's easier to explain what we're actually doing when we actually look at the app. So stay tuned. We're going to do that right now. All right. So this application, there's about 250 properties here, and there are 91 questions associated with each property. And this is an inspection tool. So they want to inspect the tool, they want to inspect the property and be able to say, okay, this is wrong, this is, these, here are the questions, and then we're going to answer. So that's basically what we're doing here. And you see kind of the screen that I've been working on. So they select category. In this case, we only have two. There's a lot more categories. And they want to know that if the question has been answered, that it turns the selection box here to red. And if they want to select an answer, so they can click on there, then they have the question here, and then their answer should appear here. And when they make changes, they're going to hit save, and it should all change back. That's kind of the gist of what we're doing. The challenge with this is that all of this data resides here within this list here, okay? But there's 20, I don't have them all loaded right now, but there's 22,000 records that are potential because there's 250 plus properties and there's 91 questions per property. So how do you do that and manage it within within an environment like Power Apps where the lists themselves really don't like to be stretched over 2,000? And the way you do that is you create smaller collections of the data itself so that when you're managing that data here, it becomes faster. Okay, so when you click on it, right, you can just go ahead and click down and do all of this, right? So pretty easy, but we use a series of a drop down as well as a gallery because highlighting this in red, turning this to a different color, it's easier to do when we use a gallery itself. And then we have other things that are going on with this as well. You can see pictures, you can see tasks, all of that are other additional things that are happening to this environment. So let's go ahead and walk through some of the screens here so you can kind of see what we're doing. So we start really on the first screen, and you can pause the video at any time and of course take screenshots of this. But here you see we're just kind of walking down through. We're setting a variable here to capture this property ID. We're resetting some labels and questions. We're setting some other variables, and then we're asking it the question, hey, if the answer field, basically what we're saying is if the property ID does not exist within PM site journal, then we want to go to PM question and we want to copy over all of these values and we want to place them inside of PM site journal. And if when I look at PM site journal that text already exists, then I'm just going to go ahead and go to my navigation and go over to my next section. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick here. So we're right here on this screen. So we're setting this up because we have we have this PM question here, which are all, we'll pull that up here real quick. Those are all of the questions and the categories and some weights associated with those categories. And then you have the site journal, which has every site, right? This happens to be site 59615, and a question per site. So you got to copy all that data over and make it available, and that's kind of how we're doing it. And then so you do that here with the on select, and then we'll just stick to using the screenshots here. And then you set it up like this. So We go down through, we reset, then we say, hey, if it's blank, if it's not blank, do this, if it is blank, and we kind of build that out, okay? And then here, we just do our notification and our navigation, pretty easy. Then we want to create a collection before we go into the edit screen itself. So here, we're actually selecting another screen. So let's see what that looks like. So here, when we hit play, here, now this is the next screen we're looking at. It already did the lookup, and it said, oh, okay, 59615 is good to go. Now we're going to select this inspector icon to go into the code. So let's see what that looks like for us. So that's this right here, this navigate screen, and we're just going to look at it here. So that's this code here, and basically we reset the fields we navigate, but here we're doing a collection for the question ID, and then we're setting the variable where we're doing a lookup. We're looking up in Site Journal to see the property ID and the question ID matching. Okay, so we want to be able to see that as we set up and get ready to go in to the edit screen. And then we're going to collect the questions themselves, and we want only the questions for that property ID. So then we get to the edit screen. So on the edit screen itself, so let's go ahead and go up there. We're going to go here. We're going to select the edit screen, and here we are right here. So we need to establish a few things. First of all, here when we click on this gallery here, when we click on this drop down, and we select one of them, we want these questions to appear. All right, and so to do that, first of all, those categories come from a clear collection, which actually sits in the app on start section. So we do this collection, and notice we're just giving it the distinct command to sort through the categories themselves, and we're ordering them. Easy. Then once we get in there on that drop down, which is called combo cat _1, the category, this is what we're doing. So these were some attempts, and this might just be interesting for you to have, just do a screenshot. But this is what we actually ended up doing. So we did a clear collect of unique questions, and we said, okay, filter it based on my property ID questions, which are up here. Property ID questions, that's that filter right there on the property ID. Okay, so we're filtering on that filter. So we did a collection which gave us the property ID information and its associated question, and then we're filtering it where the category equals whatever we selected in the drop down. So when you look at the drop down here, whatever category we select, you get different questions. Okay, so it goes up and you get some different questions. Okay, so that's kind of what we're doing there in this right here. We're selecting that, and we're saying, okay, I want this property, and then I want whatever the selected value is, I want you to filter based on that. And then we present and we group this data so that the first group data appears for us. Then we say, okay, the items inside that category is collection category, which we've gone over. And then the items, so then that's great. Now we move to the questions themselves. So how is this box set up? So let's go ahead and take a look at that. We call on these collection unique questions. These are questions from the on change right here. Collection unique questions, collection unique. So this is the items on the gal questions. So remember, gal questions, items. Let's take a look at that real quick. So if we just select the gallery itself, and you can see it right there, gal questions. And if you go to items, which you're not going to, well, we'll go over here. Items is in here somewhere. All right, there it is right there. Collect unique questions. So there you go right there. And then we're going to change the color of the question. So this is a big deal. This is the code right here. Let me show you how that works. So we're going to change the color of the question. That's weird. There we go. Okay. Change the color of the question. So we did that inside. Where is Word? There we go. Inside the temp fill on that gallery. So we're still here. We're going to go to template fill. And again, we're kind of dorked up there on the top, so we're just going to do it there. And there's the code right there. So we're going to say if it's, and then we're going to change this over. Okay? So that's how we do that. And then, of course, we saw these questions, and we have the highlight too. Oh, that's that one. I'm sorry. That's a highlight. If it's selected, we're going to fill it and make it gray. Now, on the on select, we're going to go ahead and evaluate if the answer is there, and then we're going to plug in the correct question. And then we're going to say our answers are here. When we collect this information, and the money here is on the save. Again, we're looking up where we presented the data here, and then we do an on select for the button. This is the save button. Remember, these are ands and ors, and we're basically looking through PM Site Journal for a property ID that equals the property ID that we started at the very beginning, and then that the question equals the question that's been selected, or the question equals the label text. They're both the same. I just put it in an OR in case it has a problem reading this variable. Sometimes Power Apps is a little squirrely. And then we're only saving one field at this point, and then has answer. We're changing that so that it turns red next time you come in. That was a lot, and I know I went through it pretty quick. Hopefully you can just copy these screens here that will help you. Lots of good information here, or at least get you on the right track of where you need to go, and this all works. So good luck.